This is a deep dive into trauma and The Body Keeps a Score by Bessel van der Kolk. I just finished reading this book, I think yesterday, and I gave this book a 4-star. This is, I think, one of the most important reads that you could ever read to equip yourself and to educate yourself on this issue around trauma and how trauma is stored in the body, your physical and emotional body, but also your mind, your brain, and other biological processes. It is written in a way that's very evidence-based, but I really appreciate how the author includes also personal and intimate recollection and memories from either his own experiences or his patients. Reading about this makes me realize how talk therapy, or just like the therapy that we know as of now, like traditional social media talk about therapy to be, is only simply resolving to talking and getting your feelings out, emotions out. Hopefully through that you could be able to relieve some of the trauma and tension in your body, in your mind, in your soul, which I have to agree, it is a very useful method. But before reading this book, I used to think that talk therapy is the means to an end, meaning that if you go to therapy and you talk to your therapist, and all your trauma and problems can be solved. I don't want to get it twisted. I do think that that method of talking and expressing the emotion verbally can be useful for some people, but then because that is the only form of therapy or psychiatry that we see on social media and on day-to-day mainstream media, some people have this notion of perceiving that that's like enough, which I think sometimes it's not enough, and sometimes we think that talking through is enough, and that means that we kind of ignore or overlook the root cause and the trauma that's still there, that's still left over after many talk sessions with your therapist. And that's exactly what happened to me. When I was reading this book, I was having a bodily reaction and trigger from all of those past memories, which I thought have been resolved, but turns out they are not. So just be very careful about the perception of therapy in mainstream media, and know that there are other ways to tackle your trauma. In this book, he mentions using theater as a way to target your trauma, which I thought was brilliant, and other methods such as alpha theta training, which is training your alpha waves in your brain to make sure that you are in a relaxed state more, or just like talking about EMDR, which is like rapid eye movement that mimics the REM sleep when you're like deep sleeping. So that's a very interesting thing that I've never thought about, or I've never been aware of, because I used to think that talking is the end, like that's the only thing that you can do for your trauma. It is a very important book in my opinion. I think this is one book that everybody should read for at least once in their lifetime, and this book will stay with me for a very, very long time.